All right, let me explain what's going on here. First and foremost, for people who don't know who you are, who are you?
I'm Dr. Spectred on Twitch, but most people know me Balatro University on YouTube. I play tested the game. I worked on the game. My name's in the credits, and then now I stream and make Balatro content full time.
I just learned something new. I did not know you actually worked on the game. That's pretty incredible. Basically, would you consider yourself the best Balatro player?
I consider myself as having the most hours Balatro player. I'm up to 3,000 hours now.
My God.
Which is 3 times as much as Raffle.
Okay, so in other words, you are the best Balatro player. I did a multiplayer run against Raffle, which is basically a head-to-head. And as a lot of people probably are aware, Raffle absolutely embarrassed me. It hurt my feelings. I cried a little bit after stream. It is what it is. So you're here to basically help me get a lot better at Balatro in the shortest amount of time, because I feel like I could put as many hours as I possibly can to this game, but you're going to give me the hopefully the inside scoop on how to, what decisions to make, what jokers to pick up, what would you do in each scenario. So in order for me to get better. Now, I'm not sure what the end goal here will be, because obviously I could beat the game. Like, I don't know if you do this, but I beat Black Deck on Gold Stake. So like I at least know how to play the game.
Yeah. I've seen it too. You know how to play the game.
Thank you. Can you say it louder for my Twitch chat, just so they're aware? Do you feel is the best way for me to start getting, like, what should we do? I guess I should say to for you to like do the best coaching you possibly can. Is there something you have in mind?
Yeah, right. We want to be somewhat efficient. So like when I tell my students, I used to teach math, and I would tell them like you have an hour of lecture, but like the actual learning happens on your own at home. You do practice, you do homework, you do that kind of stuff. So like maybe to win at multiplayer, the goal is to get the big number, right? You want to get a high score, but there's this kind of awkwardness around the PvP rounds happen very early. And so if you're spending too much time dirtling and generating economy, then maybe you're not making enough points, and then you're losing lives, and maybe you don't actually get to the payoff later. And so maybe something that we can try is just do like 8 ante high score runs, and then that way you can kind of get a feel for the sort of macro perspective, like what are the types of builds that we're going for, what is the end goal, and then sort of the micro stuff, trying to get how much value can I generate from each round. And then maybe we'll try to get about the highest score you can get in 6 antes.
Okay, I like that. That sounds fun. Okay, is there a particular deck you would like to do it on?
Up to you. So I guess with the multiplayer mod, you can pick whatever your favorite deck is. Is there a deck that you want to take on?
Let's do red deck, because for some reason on this save file I have not done gold. So
okay. And Raffle, I saw he had you play on the checker deck, the two of you. Yes. He said, it'd be easier to access for you, but insulting to your intelligence. We could do better.
Listen, I just think Raffle tried to make it as fair as possible. No flame to it whatsoever, but at least I think I had fun. I can't remember. I kind of blacked out that day. I think red deck on gold stake is a good place to start. Unless you feel like you want to just go to white stake just to get the practice in, it's completely up to you. But
that's what I would suggest. Yeah. So with the multiplayer mod, also you get to decide what stake you play on, and most people just play on white stake. So it's between you and Raffle if you want to. What stake you want to play on, what deck you want to play on.
Do you think it's more efficient to get better at the game if we play a gold stake? Is probably a better question then.
I would say gold stake has a lot of hurdles that are unique to the higher stakes and maybe don't apply to other runs in general. And so maybe there's like some roadblocks there that you wouldn't actually encounter normally.
Okay. Okay, let's do white stake. Okay.
Yeah. Red deck is great as sort of like a baseline vanilla experience.
Okay. I'm completely down with you. So listen, I used to skip the blind pretty often. I'm not gonna lie to you. A free rare joker is very exciting. I learned recently that's not the thing you want to be doing. So we're obviously gonna click this.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you could do is you could look at, okay, what are the possible rares, and there's like 20 of them, right? And there's, let's see, 5 of these rare jokers where it gives you X mult based on a certain hand that you play. So there's like one that cares about straights, there's one that cares about flushes and 4 of a kind and stuff like that. And those are solid kind of mid-game scoring. But to get the really big numbers, what you want is the repeatable X-Mult effects. So like glass cards are repeatable. The photograph and then the Chad can repeat it. It can re-trigger those. And so the rares that actually end up mattering are just Blueprint, Brainstorm, sometimes Invisible Joker.
In other words, you're saying it's almost never worth skipping rare Joker right now because the odds of getting one that you actually want is so unlikely.
That's it. Yeah. If you're playing just to beat an 8 ante run, maybe it's not necessarily the worst because, it can be a ×3 mult that can be powerful enough to just beat 8 ant, but that's not going to give you a crazy big high score.
Okay. That sounds good. I'm down with it. Okay, I see a straight. The only question is this going to be enough to actually get 300 points? It is 10.
Okay, so the straights that win, you could do ace high, king high, queen high. Those are the 3 straights that are possible. Usually we go for flushes in the first round, and you're looking for the total chips of the cards needs to add up to at least 30.
Okay, so
and then that'll
you're going
one
for
shot.
Flushes because what? It's more likely in the first hand that you're going to get a flush.
Yeah,
a
it's more
straight?
likely.
Okay.
Yeah. There are about half of the flushes one shot, and then so you get an extra $1 if you win in only one hand. If you get a flush that doesn't one shot, you can follow it up with a pair. So like a flush is 250 to 280 maybe, and then you can follow it up with a pair. You can always win in 2 hands. You can sometimes win in 1 hand, and so you just want to maximize your chances of winning in 1 hand.
All right, first big decision here. I don't know how you feel about reserve parking immediately. It is a good economy right at the start, but I'm not very confident, to be honest with you. I think my initial decision would go here immediately, but I want to hear what you would do.
I think the Mad Joker would be the safe pick. I think I would, on white stake, I would take the reserve parking because it gives me money. Just anything that generates any amount of money, I would take it.
Okay, so would you say that the baseline is that if any economy joker is showed to you on round 1, you take it?
Yeah. So if you want to like make a mental tier list, okay, if it gives you money, that's number 1. Number 2 is if it gives you plus mults. And then number 3 is other, like, maybe some kind of chips joker. And
Okay,
you don't necessarily need to take something from the first shop every time. You could just save your money for interest.
Okay, but in this case, because it does give you money, it is worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's all I need to know. Gives me money or gives me tarot cards or some kind of value generator.
Okay, cool. So then economy plus malt. Okay, good to know. Okay, we don't care about this. We're always going to this, and because we got this anyways. So this is each face card held in hand has a 1 in 2 chance to give $1.
So that's every time you play a hand, you get money.
So this is what I would do. I want to hear your thoughts. Because we have 4 queens already here, I would just play these 4 cards.
Yeah, kinda. So basically, because you have the 4 queens, the 4 queens wins. So every hand that you play is just a throwaway hand. You're just throwing it away to get money.
Right.
What you could do first is you can use your discards and then try to draw more face cards.
Okay. So you're really trying to min-max the economy here. I respect it.
Yeah.
So
every dollar counts.
And we're only playing hide card here because we just want to get as much money as possible because we're trading hand value for potentially way more money.
Yeah, you could play both aces because it's not going to win. A pair is only 50 points.
Yeah, you're so right. Okay. Did I get any money from that?
Unlucky.
There's no way. All right. We'll
Okay.
We'll take it. That is insane, by the way. That is actually insane. Okay, we'll just play the 7 here because it's the most. Okay, it's fine. I'm not upset. Okay, so in this case, because we want to win, we just play the queens. All right, I still think that was definitely a net positive compared to hands and money gain from reserve parking. So it's for sure. Okay, so now we have $17. Let me go through the jokers here. I think this one's horrible. I want to hear your thoughts on it. I never pick it.
I think it can be very rewarding. I think it's very challenging to make happen.
Okay. So in this case, do you think I should? I'm not going to take it. I'm just curious to see if you would take it.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of an advanced technique. Let's say that. And, even if you are going to go for it, then it doesn't necessarily fit into what are the builds that are going to be the high score builds. So for the high score builds, in a limited amount of rounds, probably you're looking for full houses, flush houses, 5 of a kind, 4 of a kind. And then maybe straights don't fit into that very well.
Okay. I also know that we're on the very last, we're going to the boss. So should we grab the clearance sale before we do anything else?
Yeah, I would. I think, you're going to lose a little bit of interest in the short term, but then it'll pay for itself later.
Okay, I agree. What do you think about getting Scholar?
Do you feel you need the Scholar?
Yeah, I think in my opinion, we do, just in case.
Okay.
We could get the money back anyways. Do you not think we need it? You didn't seem very confident when I said it.
I think you could get away without it. I think you don't necessarily get punished if you take it. I think it's fine to take it. So what I think about is every hand costs you $1. Every time you play a hand, it costs you $1. So if you can win in one hand using the Scholar, then that saves you $2 or $3. So like it pays for itself, kind of.
Okay. We do have 2 aces debuff because of the last round too, because we played it.
We did play the 2 aces. Yeah. So that's
2 of them are gonna
that's
be good.
actually a good thing that you mentioned, because I forgot about that, and maybe that's a good reason not to take the scholar.
Okay. All right. Then in that case, I will not take it, because if it's half the aces are bad, it's not going to matter anyways.
Yeah.
So
all right, go next.
Okay, we'll go to the next one then. Okay.
All right, so typically here we said in the first round you can get a flush gives you 300 points, or sometimes it can get you 300 points if the cards are high enough. And then so with the boss round, the first boss, usually I'm trying to go for 2 flushes or 2 5-card hands. So like a flush and a straight, or a flush and a full house, or something like that.
Okay.
3 of a kind gets you 180 about. 2 pair gets you between 100 and 140.
Okay.
So here I would go for, okay, what kind of flush can we get? Acknowledging that if we have debuff cards, then the flush is not going to be as many points.
Right. I mean, so a lot of our hearts are debuffed.
Okay.
Which is concerning. So then it's probably like you want to go for clubs, I'm assuming.
Yeah, how many clubs do we have in hand?
We only have 1 though. So like I think you can go for hearts and just hope that we hit the flush as soon as possible.
Yeah, one thing you could do is you could play the hearts for a low amount of points, like 200 points hearts, and then get the clubs later. So maybe discard all the diamonds and discard the 5.
Okay. So you want to discard, we're getting rid of the spade as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You want to get rid of the
So
club?
here we're just trying to make 1 hand at a time. And so we pick a hand that we're going for hearts, and then discard everything else.
Okay. I think maybe I get a little too greedy and I try to play for both, like for the future, but that's probably not the case. So you just discard everything for hearts, I'm assuming, and then we just rip this. And then it ended up working out because you did get the club, but yeah, okay. And we got $1. Okay.
Wow, full house. That's pretty great.
That's probably better than going for the flush then, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've got it, you play it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Even if it's not a lot of points, if you've got it, you play it.
Okay. And I think we're still going for clubs here.
Yeah, so you've got 2 discards. Yeah, as long as you get the clubs, then you win. If you wanted to play a little bit safer, you could play the 2 pair there, since you only need 170 points. Play the 2 pair before you discard it, but I think it's fine to discard also.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to go with the full house, obviously, because that will get us there. And then we got the extra $1.
Yeah,
okay,
so
cool.
there you want to be conscious of, okay, how much does the full house do? I know the full house gives me the points I need, so I can actually use an extra hand to get the parking money there.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, you're actually very right. I could have technically got extra money there if I found more face cards. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of as you're playing along, keep a mental tally of like how much does a typical hand score, and like how much tolerance do I have.
Okay, this is good. I should be writing notes. What's your thoughts on Mystic Summit?
All right, so going into the next round, we're empty-handed, right? So if we take nothing, how do we get 800 points? We know a flush is 300, so 2 flushes, that's 600, and then 200 more, that would be like 3 of a kind, or 2 pair twice. So it's theoretically possible, seems very challenging to get like 5 or 4 hands. So maybe here we're looking for anything that scores, and maybe the Mystic Summit is like the perfect pick for that.
Okay, I like the logic there. I think for sure, even before you gave that whole explanation, I would have bought it regardless, because I would be worried I wouldn't get it.
Let's say the Mystic Summit wasn't there, then I would take the Celestial Pack, because the Celestial Pack can give you, you're looking for either Jupiter or Saturn. So whatever the hands that you normally play in Ante 1, you level those up for Ante 2, and then you can kind of survive with the same hands. Okay, so that does make a lot of sense. I actually probably would have never picked that before you said that, to be honest. But now you say it makes a lot of sense, because you're just trying to get the points. In this case, because we had Mystic Summit, though, you're not willing to go to the Celestial Pack because there's no point for it. You'd rather save money for interest. Now we save money. Yeah. And we don't want to buy this yet because we want to get the money instead. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, now before we move on, Mystic Summit gives us 15 molt, and okay, we know a flush is normally 300 points. A flush normally starting out is 4 molt. So if I put 15 on top of that, how much more is that? That's like 5 times as much. If I'm going from 4 to 19, that's 5 times as much. Yeah. So we can one-shot with a flush. We can one-shot with any 5-card hand here. And then now that we know that, we can try to grind out as much parking money as we can. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so we're literally min-maxing for this. Okay. Yeah, just discard until you get all face cards. Okay, interesting. This is... Okay. All right, we do have a flush.
So in this case, do you ever just want to take like just play the hearts to see if we get reserve parking?
So the safe thing to do is keep all the diamonds. That 100% prevents you from dying because you know that the flush will win on its own.
Right.
The greedy thing to do is to play the 4 cards that are not face cards just to throw them away like you would discard them. You win as long as you draw another king or jack.
Okay, I like I mean, the greedy play makes sense here because we're virtually guaranteed to win no matter what, right?
Yeah, as long as you draw any one more face card, then you win.
Okay, I'm down for this.
And then so you know high card on its own is already 200 points, so now you can't lose if you get 200 points per hand.
Okay, so then in this case, you just want to play high card every single turn just to get as much money as possible.
Yeah, throw away all the face cards and then you get as much money as you can. So like throw away the 2 as well.
Okay, I like it. Okay, this is good. I can tell you're a teacher. You're very good at explaining things. It's very good. You give me the classic, like when I would ask my teacher a question and they would make me answer the question.
Question. Does the 5 win as a high card?
Yes. We just saw it, right? Because it's 200 points. We're good.
Well, it was 200 points when we played the ace. It's not going to be 200 points when we play the 5 because the 5 is smaller than an ace.
Well, it's 5 times 15, right? Or 16. So 5 times 10 is 50. Is it enough? Actually, it's not enough. No, it's not.
It's high card is 5 plus the 5 itself is another 5.
Oh, so it's 10, 15. So one. Yeah, it's enough. It is enough. Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're good.
For sure. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I forgot the extra 5. It actually is throwbacks to my teachers because when they put you on the spot, it's like you know the answer, but you're like stressing out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Hey, feel free to take your time against Raffle too. He can wait on you. Okay, just think it through.
I like to go fast to assert dominance though. It's more of like a mental game because like if he
Me too, yeah. So like when you're in the PvP round, if you score less points than your opponent and you run out of hands, the round ends. And so if your opponent is trying to like use reserve parking and like grind out value, then they don't get to play all their hands because you used all yours already. And so like that can be a strategy to like speed run the PvP and just I'm going to commit to losing on purpose so that I can get more money than you.
Absolute 5-head, to be honest. Like that's great. Okay, I don't mind the stencil right now because we have so much empty slots. How do you feel about it?
Stencil, I think for me, doesn't last very long. So, I mean, it's fine here, but it's going to get replaced soon. If this were PvP, you have the first PvP round coming up. There's this question of, okay, if I don't take the stencil and my opponent does take the stencil, then, what chances do we have of beating them? What's the plan here? Are we trying to go for maximum economy or do we feel that we need the stencil for points? Like we already know with high card, we can get 200 points each. The next round, we only need 1,200. If we play a flush, we know the flush is going to be 5 times is 1,500 points. So we probably don't need the stencil, but you could take it. I would probably prioritize the booster packs.
Okay, so the way I learn is like repeating what you said, but in my own words.
Yeah.
Stencils would be good in the multiplayer round for this round specifically if you want to win it. But because this is not multiplayer, we don't want to concern myself because it's going to be replaced soon, and I'd rather go for economy.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. You said you want to focus on the packs itself, and I understand the Arcana pack here. The standard pack, you're just looking for a really good card to start copying, or
seals you're looking for. You're looking for blue seal, red seal, purple seal. For my booster pack hierarchy, I take Arcana packs before anything else because Arcana packs could give you money. Like they could just pay for themselves.
Okay.
Like if you get a Hermit or you get a Temperance or something like that.
Okay. I was thinking my logic was like you would go here in case you got a really good card that you pick, and then you would death it, or maybe you get lucky to get the death and it shows up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Any cards you add during this shop from the standard pack will not show up in the Arcana pack. The Arcana pack, the cards that you see are already predetermined.
And this doesn't change that predetermination because like it doesn't like so that's a guaranteed like for every single instance that you buy a new card or add a new card to your deck. Oh, that is incredibly so no matter what I do here, the same cards will show up every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta write that shit down. Like I would miss. So like
it ends up not being super relevant, but yeah.
Well, in my specific example where I said like I would pick this one first to hopefully death it, like it is completely wrong in that case, right? Because like you said, you would never show up. So I guess we're opening this one first. That just makes the most logical sense. So the Arcana pack would pay for itself if I take this. Do we? I personally would not take it here because I feel like what was the point? I feel like
you could do better than $4. Okay, I mean, what are the other options? So
this one technically pays for itself it's -1, but over two rounds it would pay for itself and give me
pays
more
for
money.
itself in 2 rounds. Typically, we're looking at you're going to be playing for maybe 15 to 20 rounds, so it will more than pay for itself.
Okay, and this one is fine, but probably not needed. And then this one is also fine, but probably not needed. So it's most likely between the Devil and the Temperance, but I think the Devil is probably the obvious choice here because it pays for itself and it's very early.
Yeah. If you need points, you could get points from Jokers. You don't need to worry about the Priestess for points. You know, we want to try to get as much money as we can. And then with money, then we can get whatever else we need.
When it comes to the gold card itself, is there a particular card that you would choose? Because I think I would probably pick one of these two. Just because like I think most of my builds, or like almost most of the builds I play, like these will be a part of it.
Yeah. So there are a lot of common jokers that reward you for playing face cards. So like reserve parking, for example, or business card or photograph, all of them care about face cards. So typically what you want to do is you want to build around face cards. So I would put the gold card on any face card. Here, the king is even better because we have reserve parking, and reserve parking wants you to hold the kings in hand.
Okay, and would you say that's like a blanket statement when you just said like normally you would always put the devil on face cards if you can?
Yeah. Okay. If you just think about like what are my outs, what are the possible builds that I could go for, face cards are going to be very common.
Okay, and I'm assuming we're picking those because of the red seal.
This is maybe a little bit tougher.
Okay, interesting.
The red seal re-triggering effect, right? You can make it into glass, and then that's a repeatable ×2. Like that could be very powerful. It's not a face card, which is actually pretty relevant. And if you wanted to make it into a face card, it would take a lot of strength cards to get there. So
yes. Absolutely.
If you take it, you could, but then that changes sort of like what hand am I trying to build towards? If it were like a red seal 10 or a red seal jack 10, you could strength into a jack. But if it was a red seal face card, then you're like, okay, well, I could do 5 of a kind with that red seal, make it glass and then copy it and stuff like that. Because it's a low end here, you might be going for like full houses. Full houses with, you make a couple of these 4s into glass, but then you combine them with face cards, because the Chad and the photograph only cares about the first card being a face card. You don't have to play all face cards,
right?
Like that could be a possible direction to go.
What was the other options? Right, you were thinking about it. Was skipping the other option here, or was you thinking about the king itself?
Yeah, in general, you don't have to take a card every time. So if there's, what I'm looking for mostly is value generators, like blue seals, gold seals, purple seals. Gold cards are good to take sometimes. This just generic face card, maybe not worth it.
Okay.
Whether or not you take the red seal depends kind of on how early it is. So like maybe it's early enough that I could build around it. If it were later, then you wouldn't take it.
So round 2, I think, is early enough then, right?
Yeah.
So we're always taking this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What blind is this? We can wait one more with this. And so stencil wasn't worth it. How do you feel about the smiley face? We don't technically need it, but it's
so we could definitely we can win the next 2 rounds with just the summit. So if we don't need the smiley face, we can keep saving our money. Smiley face is very good with parking though, because parking, what you want to do is you want to save all your face cards, play the hands to get the money, and then you end the round by playing the face cards. And so maybe smiley face is like very strong synergy there. If it wasn't smiley face specifically, I would pass it. I would say you don't need anything, but smiley face is strong synergy with what you have already going on.
Okay, and this is just like maybe a more follow-up question for what you were talking about. Because we're at 24 gold, right, and this costs 3. Are you more willing to buy this because it doesn't break the next interest interval? Because like you want to go 120,
I mean,
right?
That's part of it. That's relevant. You might consider, okay, maybe we don't buy both booster packs if it takes us below $25. Or you could think of it as, okay, we had 27 and then we bought the standard pack and we went down to 24. So there you're paying like $4 for the standard pack. And you could ask, okay, well, would I be willing to pay $4 for the standard pack? Would I be willing to pay the extra $1 of interest? And sometimes the answer is yes. Okay. And so even if it did affect your interest, maybe the smiley face is worth it. It's worth the extra $1. Because you have reserved parking, you can actually get above $25 still and still get max interest. And so if you have some kind of value generator like reserve parking or mail-in rebate, you could say, okay, my budget is actually higher because I know I can make money within 1 round.
Okay. I'm gonna grab this then based on what we just talked about. And we just go to the next round. Okay. Cool. Okay.
And the one more thing that you want to keep in mind, the vouchers are very important, and so you want to budget for that as well. And so not only do I want to try to get to $25 for interest, I want to have $25 plus extra so I can afford the voucher in the next shop.
Okay. And if we're planning for that as well, we're just fully discarding for face cards.
Yeah. Same as last time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do we keep the one? I guess we don't, right? Because if we don't get okay.
You don't need to.
Okay, and then we play both to try to find more face cards. Unlucky. Play both to try to find more face cards. Play both to try to find more face cards. Okay, now we gotta do math here real fast. Okay, so we want to, if we can, we want to keep the king here because it's guaranteed $3 no matter what. If we do queen and queen, this, I guess we could do king and king. It's the same thing. Except for it's, I guess, plus 10. So it'd be plus 10 points for each king, which means we go to 30 here. Then plus 5 malt for both kings, which is plus 10, then plus 15, so 25. So it would be at 27 malt plus 30 or times 30. That is more than enough, right? Hold on.
That's plenty. Yeah.
Okay.
Another way to think about it is when I played high card was 200 points. If I play 2 cards, it's twice as many chips, it's twice as many points.
Okay. Well, what kind of math did you teach, by the way? I'm just kind of curious.
Just like university math, like calculus.
Okay.
Linear algebra, differential equations.
Oh my god.
Statistics.
God. You know, listen, no offense to your job. I hated those classes so much.
Hey, it's not for everybody.
I went to school for computer science, and I remember having to take like quadratic functions and all that stuff, like algebra, calculus, and all that stuff. It was just went over my head, especially the university level ones. I was like, holy moly. Okay, sorry. Quick side tangent. Let's go back to this. We're buying this no matter what, so I'm gonna buy it immediately.
Buying the voucher no matter what, for sure.
Okay. For both of these jokers, we could play for 3 of the kind if we really want to, but I'm not like super excited about either one of these, so I kind of want to go for the Joker pack.
Regardless, even if you are interested in Wily Joker, like, okay, maybe that's something I'm considering, you can still open the Buffoon pack first, and then it'll give you more information before you make the decision.
Okay. Well, we could start playing for 3 of a kind. I like that more. We saw the other Joker immediately or in the shop, so I would probably take this one. I mean, we're taking one regardless here, but I'd take this one. This one is, I like this guy.
Between the 2 of these, I think 3 of a kind is sometimes a little bit challenging. It's not guaranteed, and maybe sometimes can be as difficult as getting a full house. So I like sort of misprint being generically applicable to any hand.
Really?
But because you have Wily Joker in the shop that's also 3 of a kind, then maybe that's a reason to take Zany Joker, whereas maybe I wouldn't normally.
Okay, so you're saying if the other 3 of the kind Joker wasn't in the shop, you would take this one no matter what, because it's just easier to fit into multiple different builds. Where this one, you're forced to go 3 of a kind.
Yeah, so rather than trying to play, if you play the 3 of a kind one time, it wins. But maybe you can't get the 3 of a kind. Maybe it's easier to play a pair and then 2 pair twice.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because of the shop though, we will grab this one. Okay, that's. I'm telling you right now, I would have never grabbed Misfit in my life. I always hate that guy. So I will grab the Wily Joker because we got this. Let's grab this as well. Thoughts on the standard pack? My logic is that if we're playing for 3 of a kinds, we kind of want to start building towards a specific card, like another 4 perhaps.
Typically what I would suggest is you want to buy the booster packs before you reroll, because reroll is really inefficient cost-wise. You don't get as much value as you do from the booster packs. You want to maintain above $25 so that you have maximum amount of interest, but as long as you're above $25, then you just always buy the booster packs, and so it stops being a decision. You just do it.
Okay, so it's no, like the logic there. Okay, I was literally just talking about force to start building up for a 3 of a kind if we're gonna go for that build. Could also take the king, so we're more likely to find kings. I'm probably never picking this, and I'm probably never picking this. This one we can think about as well. I personally would go for 4 of diamonds just because it's the most likely we're gonna find a 3 of a kind.
So here, I wouldn't take any of these.
Okay.
So like the thing that you want to do is play 3 of a kind, right? 3 of a kind you can do without any help. You could do with just the starter deck. And how many 3 of a kind do I need to play? I probably only need to play 1 3 of a kind, and then that's it for the whole round.
Okay.
And so I wouldn't take any cards that are not value generators.
Okay, so 3 of a kinds are likely enough in the base deck that we don't need to take a card just to make it a little bit more likely. You'd rather find just a better card. I do know in like roguelikes for sure you want to make your deck as lean as possible.
Yeah.
So
you know how it goes.
Yeah, so I understand the logic. So at least my brain before you said that was if I'm gonna start playing for 3 of a kinds because 2 of my jokers are leaning into it, I would take the 4 there. But again, like
right. It's like I already have a good 4. Maybe I should get more 4s.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we can work out in the future. We can make more 4s.
Okay. And we're never rerolling because we want to stay above 25.
Yeah.
Okay. Incredible. I'm already like playing this game is so interesting, especially going against Raffle because it's like the amount of different decisions you can make are just so insane. Like I feel like I've gotten so much better in the past 30 minutes. Okay, in this case, I usually just full discard my whole hand. I'm sure you have like a better way of doing it, I hope, of trying to just maybe keep this.
Sometimes not. But what are we looking for? We're looking for face cards, right?
Right, but if they're flipped upside down, right? Like reserve parking doesn't affect it anyways.
So reserve parking, you still get the money. If they're face down, you still get the money.
Oh, I would have assumed that it doesn't know what card it is because they're face down.
Well,
so upside down is the
game
same
knows,
as debuffed.
even if you don't know.
You're right. Okay, fair enough. You're saying we probably keep like these and then discard this and see where we're at, whatever this card ends up being.
Yeah, if you sort by rank, then the high cards, the face cards are going to be on the left. So one thing you could do, you're going to get less money this way, but one thing you could do if it were like a more challenging boss situation, if you play the hand, you get to see the cards, because if you discard them, then you don't know what cards you discarded. And so when you go to your deck preview, it might lie to you about what's in your deck. It might tell you have cards that you don't actually have. Okay. And then so sometimes it's worth it to gain the information from seeing the cards. Okay, so do you think the information is valuable enough to not discard them? Probably. I think our build is strong enough that we don't have to worry about that. Also, we have 5 discards, which is kind of a lot, so we can kind of sculpt a perfect hand.
Okay, I'm done with it. Okay, so we know that this is an ace. This is a jack or a... Well, I guess we can maybe check it here. Okay, so then in this case, are we just discarding this as well?
So you don't need the aces. So even though you have a pair of aces, you want to try to get 3 of a kind face cards. Face cards so that you can get the parking money and then, that kind of 3 of a kind.
You're discarding these 2 cards though, right?
I would keep them.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And
like, even though we don't know what they are, you said there's like a pretty good chance there could be a jack in there. There could be a queen of clubs in there, maybe.
So you're hoping that you get like a 10 or a jack to help you decipher what these are.
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly it. Okay, so we got the jack.
Okay, still don't know about this one.
Yeah, so that could be 10 of clubs. It could be jack of clubs.
I guess, I would say like we could just play and see if it actually gives me money, but it's still a 50-50, right?
It's still a 50-50. You want to make sure that you're discarding as many cards as possible each time. So like discarding 2 cards is pretty bad compared to discarding 4 cards. So maybe now, since you have the queens, then it's fine to discard them.
Okay.
If you lose a face card, at least then you still have plenty of face cards left.
Now, you just brought up the point that you want to discard as many cards as possible. So in this particular case, you would still discard 2, though.
Yeah. Discard as many as possible within, like, trying to keep specific cards, like trying to keep the face cards here.
Okay. And then we're just doing this. Okay. Nice. Oh, my God.
Huge.
We're going to be rich. Okay, and the math again. I believe it's like 800 points, right? That's what we saw last time. Plus,
we did it last time. I don't remember what the number is.
15, so 17 plus 27. It's 30 times 27.
If it's 800, then it's not enough.
It's not enough, right? So then we want to go for triple queens.
If you play 3 cards instead of 2 cards, it only costs you 50 cents because reserve parking is only 50-50. Now, before you ship it, okay. Can you ballpark, do you have an idea how big it's going to be without like actually looking at the numbers, without actually calculating it? Do you have an idea?
Well, if we know that 800 is 2 cards, we divide that by 2, it'd be what, 400-ish? Then it's an extra 400 points?
Well, it's different because we have Wily Joker, which is a source of chips on top of everything.
Fair. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So Sort of an important thing to note about the pacing and about diminishing returns of different flavors of jokers. So like we started out with the Mystic Summit. Mystic Summit was plus 15 mult, and that was huge, right? We said, okay, now my high card is 200 points. Now my flush is 1500 instead of 300 points. It's 5 times as much when I pick up the Mystic Summit. If I add Zany Joker is another plus 12, which is about the same amount. It's a little bit less than the same amount. So if I'm going from 4 mult to 19 mult, that's a huge jump. But if I add another 12 on top of that, Zany Joker does as much as Mystic Summit, but that's it. So the first plus mult Joker that you get is like a times 5. The second plus mult that you get is like a times 2 now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So then, once you have a bunch of plus mult Jokers, then you want to have some source of chips. So that's kind of the pacing, is you want, in the first 2 antes, you're looking for 1 to 2 sources of plus mult. And then in antes 2 and 3, you're looking for 1 source of chips. And like that combination then gives you a ton of points then.
All this to pretty much say that this is enough points.
It's going to be a lot. Yeah. You're good. You're good.
I get what you're saying there. I do understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. Okay. All right, perfect.
So like, was with just the Mystic Summit would be maybe 1,000 points. With Zany takes it to 2,000, and then with Wily now it's 8,000.
Okay. All right. Ride the Bus doesn't seem like we're really playing towards that. So I'm not a huge fan of it. Splash probably not needed either. I don't think so. We're going right to the packs then. And now we're at Celestial versus Arcana. Is it still Arcana packs over Celestial?
You are, if you have money for both, you're going to buy both.
Right.
You also have extra money. So if I think about, okay, if I buy both booster packs, I still have $46. So probably I'm going to reroll a little bit just to spend the money.
And you wouldn't reroll first, right? You would go to the Arcana pack, then the Celestial pack into the reroll.
So there's a couple different benefits to rerolling first.
Okay.
If you reroll into a planet card, any planet card that's in the shop will not show up in the Celestial pack. So if you reroll into a bad one, then you can block that one from spawning, and it makes the Celestial pack higher value. If you reroll into tarot cards, you can pick up the tarot cards and use them inside the Arcana pack. And that's usually the main thing that I'm thinking about.
Okay, so rerolling first is correct then.
Yeah. So you just want to figure out, like, what is my budget? If I buy the 2 booster packs, how many times am I rerolling? How much money do I have left over?
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of the banana.
Huge.
One of my favorite jokers by far. That, I shouldn't have said, pause. I shouldn't have said that. Do I sell the Mystic Summit for the banana?
So one thing that's nice about Mystic Summit with the parking is you can toggle it on and off. You can decide when you want to use it and when you want to not use it.
Okay.
So like in the early game with something like parking or something like mail-in rebate, where you want to use your hands and save your discards or something like that, then maybe it could be worth it to stick with the Mystic Summit. But here in round 6, we're in ante 3. Probably now we don't have to worry about scoring too many points. And so, yeah, you could get rid of Mystic Summit. I think also it makes sense to get rid of the smiley face here.
Okay, so what's your logic of losing Zany Joker instead? Or how do you
So
feel about it?
I guess also you could get rid of Zany Joker. So basically switching from Zany Joker to something that's a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, that's exactly where my logic was.
Yeah.
Because the smiley still might be worth it, but we're not always guaranteed to get a 3 of a kind, right? So in that case, I'd rather always have the banana over it, because it does
you could play a pair of face cards. You could play 2 pair of face cards. That would be good.
Okay, I like this one though. Okay, we do have enough money to reroll again. So you're saying you want to just think about your budget and always stay above 25. So then in this case, you would reroll one more time.
Yeah. And another thing to think about, you want to reroll and you want to have money for the booster packs and you want to save at least $25. If you reroll into something, you might want to buy it, and that's going to cost you money. And so like that factors in as well. And so I want to have like an extra $5 buffer so that I can actually buy something if I reroll.
Okay. That makes sense. So in this case, re-rolling again is a little scary because you want to buy the packs. Well, I guess that's not the case. You could re-roll one more time. If you don't buy anything, then you're just not buying the packs in that case.
Yeah. So I would never pass on the booster packs because you have a limited number of booster packs per shop.
Okay. So
the booster packs never come back, but the shop you can always re-roll later.
How do you feel about the tribe?
I guess the question is like, how does the tribe fit with reserve parking? So we want to try to generate as much money as we can.
So
and
your hierarchy is like economy above everything at this point.
Yeah.
So you in your mind, it's like, I don't want the ×2 flush and start building towards it because I'd rather get more money.
Yeah. If I'm doing parking and I just have like a bunch of random face cards, I don't want to be holding on to a flush. I don't want to be holding on to non-face cards.
Okay, that is, I mean, it's very sound logic. Again, this is a decision I probably would have just grabbed, so I started building towards like, I think maybe
it's a
my issue,
×2. You know, X mult is exciting, right?
It is. I'm also a huge component of like building towards a win condition. That's probably more of like Hearthstone brain than anything, because like in Hearthstone, like obviously you need to win the game. It's not just like getting points.
Right.
So that's where that mindset comes from. But in this case, the economy is so much better in Balatro that you would not want to play for this because you'd rather go for reserve parking. And
right,
I'm assuming that is like a blanket statement you would make for almost any other multiplier.
Yeah, most of them. If it's, you know, let's say trio gives you ×3 when you play 3 of a kind, that could be worth it because that could replace one of your existing jokers. It fits into the build that you're already doing. Okay.
So in this case, we're not taking this and we don't really need this.
So here, if you buy the 2 booster packs, it takes you to $32. If you reroll, it takes you to $25. So if you reroll, any purchase that you make takes you below 25. So here I would stop rerolling. Okay. Also, every time you reroll, the cost goes up, and so you want to spread out your rerolls. So do a couple here in this shop and a couple in the next shop. Okay. And you said we always start with this one first, so I'll go here. Okay. Strength, the Star, and the Emperor. Okay, so in this case, I like the Emperor, but I'm also really down for the Strength as well because we're kind of going for like the 3 of the kind build, and we have 2 9s in pile of cards here, which means we can get a bunch of 10s. Is probably best use of the Strength is to turn a pair into a better pair, right? So you could turn a pair of 9s into a pair of 10s. That's good for the 3 of a kind plan. 10s are closer to being face cards, but they're not quite face cards yet. I think you could also consider turning the Jack into a Queen. And so you don't get any new face cards, but you do get a 5th Queen. And so maybe that makes the 3 of a kind Queens a little bit easier. But I would go with the Emperor, like you said, because maybe this is not the maximum value strength that we could get. Maybe a strength on 10s would be better. Maybe a strength on 2 Queens or 2 Jacks would be better. Okay. No, I agree. I mean, it is what it is. I have never really used stone cards before. I feel like they're always really bad, so I usually just sell this. Is there a reason to hold it though? Because if we go to the next Arcana, we can't get this, right? Yeah, so that's one reason is as long as you're holding it, then it won't show up again. And so if it's stinky, then you could just hold on to it. Stone cards actually are maybe not that bad. Can be very powerful with things like Mystic Summit and the Banana. Okay. Yeah. I've never done it. If you, Banana and Mystic Summit give you 15 mult each, that's 30 total. So if you play a single stone card with 30 mult, that's 1,500 points. Okay. I mean, that's not bad for sure, but I feel like it just takes too much setup in my opinion. I mean, maybe if it just falls into your lap, then you're really happy about it. But yeah, it's like really based on what jokers you end up getting. Venus here, because we're kind of planning for 3 of a kind. Yeah, that seems reasonable. The main ones that you're looking for are 4 of a kind and Full House. Okay. Why 4 of a kind? Just because it's a lot of points? 4 of a kind allows you to play 4 of the same card, and that means you can do like 4 of the same glass card. So like thinking long term, the plan is to make a glass card and then copy it as many times as you can, and you want to put as many glass cards as you can in the same hand. And so 4 of a kind lets you do that. So 4 of a kind. 4 of a kind also, it scales really good. Like it gives you a lot of chips. It gives you a lot of mult for the Mars card. And so what that allows you to do is you can one shot with a 4 of a kind and replace all your jokers with value generating jokers. Okay. That's good to know. Okay. All right. Thoughts on maybe selling like the tower to buy the chariot? I think chariot ends up not being super relevant most of the time, actually. Steel cards end up not being super relevant most of the time. Okay. And would you like to elaborate a little further on that just so I can understand why you think that? Yeah, so a glass card is a ×2. Steel card is ×1.5. Glass cards, you can re-trigger them. There's like a lot of re-triggering jokers. The Chad is common. The Chad re-triggers your first card twice. So already that's a lot. You can make steel cards, but you shouldn't risk your life trying to hold on to a steel card necessarily. Okay, so like, the value of it is just not like that high is basically what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, 50% more. If you can do it, it matters, but I don't think it's worth risking everything to try to make it happen. But here there's no cost. There's no risk. You just like get rid of the lovers and pick up the chariot, no problem.
But we would want to go here first because that way we can guarantee you can't get is glass card from Arcana pack. I actually can't remember. I think it is, right?
Yeah, you could get a Justice Tarot card, gives you glass cards. The benefit of taking the chariot here is maybe the Arcana pack has a death card, and so you can make a steel card and copy it. Like that would be powerful.
Okay.
And so that's why when there's Arcana packs in the shop, we try to reroll first so that maybe we can like combo some tarot cards together.
And in this case, you want to reroll first, I'm guessing.
I would take the world too, world instead of the tower. Okay. So, if you could get not just a full house, but a flush house is worth a lot of points. Instead of a 5 of a kind, you could play flush 5 is worth a lot of points.
Do we keep this for the Arcana pack to try to get the glass card or death or
Emperor you can always use later. If I take the Emperor here, I have to give up the chariot. I have to give up the world. Right. So it's just a matter of like whether or not you want to give those up, and maybe you don't have to. You could just take the Emperor after.
Well, I'm thinking like, so I don't, in this case, I was thinking about re-rolling again, like one more time. But because we got 2 tarot cards that we're going to go to an Arcana pack anyways, and we want the highest likelihood of getting like death and or the glass one, we want to open this right here and not re-roll and keep these 2 here so that we get the highest likelihood of finding like the death or the glass. That's the logic here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You can always re-roll after. Yeah.
Okay.
You did it.
So in this case, once again, we want to steel card a face card, so like king or queen, whatever, and then we want to death it with maybe the 2, or we'll talk about that in a second. So in this case, we have a diamond, and I would be copying a diamond to a diamond. I could also do clubs. Like I could just transfer the 3 rather than the 2, so that we have another diamond if we ever go for flushes.
So you could also use the world here on the king and the queen and the 10. And then that way when you use the death card, you get an extra spade.
Okay. I am actually happy with that. So this.
It's spades.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
And then you want to do it on this one.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter between the 2 and the 3. It's just a matter of I want to get more spades, so I don't care if it's diamonds or clubs.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. And then we still want to go here, but we could reroll for, well, we're going to buy this. This is good value, I'm assuming.
Bummer.
And then we could reroll one more time.
Yeah, I would say maybe this is like a niche thing, but in the multiplayer context, in the PvP round, having the extra chips from the Hierophant could be powerful.
Okay, and
right, so we have a lot of sources of plus mult, and then so if I have a few extra chips on my face cards, then that can be
like, good. Well, in this
powerful
case,
short term. It's not going to be like a long term plan, but it could like get you an extra life.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's we sell the star because we're probably not leaning into diamonds because it's our lowest suit at the moment, and then we can pick
so
that
like
up.
Star and Sun, the suit changes we don't need. We've got spades, no problem.
Okay, and this case, if I re-roll, we go to 31. Which means we could buy something, but that means that we're not getting the pack. So we open the pack first.
We're
probably not even going to reroll.
And you also probably want the voucher, so you budget for the voucher in the next shop.
Okay. I mean, this is the only one I would probably pick.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think maybe you wouldn't take it in round 12, but here is great. There's still plenty of time. You could strengthen it into a jack.
Okay, awesome. And then you want to get the voucher. What does this voucher do? Like, I know I think it unlocks something, right?
Yeah, so you can't get any of the tier 2 vouchers until you get the tier 1 vouchers first. So the tier 2 voucher gives you an extra Joker slot, the antimatter.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we want to grab. Well, okay. So we can just grab this now because if I reroll, I'm probably not buying anything anyways, and then we have the perfect amount of money for this without going under the 25 rolls. Okay.
And also you got parking for money, so like the budget is artificially a little bit higher than you might be thinking.
Okay. Let's grab this. Okay. So same strategy here. Because of this, we're going to discard all for face cards. Do we want to keep that?
Yeah, I would keep it. Important thing to note about the steel cards and glass cards, they happen before your jokers, generally. So you're going to get the times 1.5 from the steel card before the banana happens, before the Mystic Summon happens. So if most of your mold is coming from the banana, then the steel card actually doesn't matter. The one situation where it's slightly different is Smiley Face gives you the +5s before the steel happens. So if you play like a pair of queens, then that gives you +10 from Smiley Face, and then the steel happens after. You get the +5 from the steel after.
Okay, so and that matters because the Smiley looks at when the card is actually played versus when the final scoring is happening for the entire hand.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Which makes a lot of sense. Do we want to use the Hierophant here on any card since we have full face cards anyways?
Yeah, so if you play the Hierophant, you can win with a pair because you get the extra chips, and then you don't need Wily Joker, you don't need to play the 3 of a kind. We know the 3 of a kind is like 8,000 points, so if we wanted to play the 3 of a kind, we could, but because we have Hierophant, we don't have to. And if we hold more cards, we get more parking money.
Right. And I'm assuming you want to put it probably on queens rather than the jacks.
Yeah, we have more kings than we have anything else, and so the queens are closer to becoming kings. You could also, if you needed to in an emergency, you could use the sun. And so sometimes it's worthwhile to keep the tarot cards as like a get out of jail free card.
Right.
Kinda.
Okay. Yeah. So this is enough. It's plus
yeah.
40. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
One situation you wouldn't want to use the Hierophant is when we use the death card in the Arcana pack. Then if we get a Fool, the Fool looks back in time and it copies whatever the last card that we used was. And so if the last card I used was Death, then, okay, I don't want to use the Hierophant because I want the Fool to copy Death, right?
Right.
But because you use the Emperor, then it doesn't matter. The Fool would copy the Emperor, which is not something you use a Fool for anyway.
Okay. I think we're buying the Fool.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Then we're going to re-roll here and see what we get first. Mail-in rebate. So you probably never want 2 economy jokers in this case, right? We already have enough money.
So I would say the opposite. I would say we already have enough
more
points.
Money. Okay, so you're saying we have enough points that you'd rather start banking up more cash, which is completely fair.
I mean, if we can get 7,000 with a single 3 of a kind, like we're only using 1 hand per round right now.
And I'm assuming you want to get rid of Wily then.
So we said before, if you have you get diminishing returns on getting more and more plus mult jokers. So you want to have like a mix of plus mult and plus chips.
Okay. What is the worst one here then is the bigger question. I guess we're not playing a lot of face cards, so maybe this one. We're usually holding
you
them
play
in our hand.
2 face cards gives you 10, 3 face cards gives you 15, so it's kind of similar to the Mystic Summit. Probably Smiley Face is better long term.
Okay, so these are both the same because it's almost the exact same ult if we're playing 3.
Yeah. The difference is Mystic Summit gives you the plus 15 when you play a high card, but maybe the high card is not enough points to really worry about anyway.
Okay, I can buy that logic. So we're buying the mail-in rebate.
Yeah.
Right. We could roll one more time.
Yeah, as long as you have the budget for the 2 booster packs.
I'm assuming we're picking up Jupiter just in case.
At this point, no. Jupiter and Saturn cards are good for maybe the first 2 antes, but then now we're pretty stable. We can score with 3 of a kind. We don't need to take any planet cards other than the important ones. So like 3 of a kind and 4 of a kind.
Okay, I'll grab the Celestial pack then. Is it Celestial pack versus booster pack banner in this case? Probably not, right?
No, you can take either. So like one situation where it could matter is with the Fool scenario, where it's like, okay, well, if I take a Celestial pack, then the planet card is going to override whatever the last card that I used was. So if the last card I used was a Death, I want to open the Arcana pack first, Celestial pack second.
Okay, but we're taking 4 of a kind, I think was the plan to begin with, so...
Yeah.
I'll grab that. Okay, and then we'll open this. I would take nothing, based on what we talked about before.
Okay, when we had a Gold Seal 10, we took the Gold Seal 10. Why don't we take the Gold Seal 5?
Gold Seal 10, we can strengthen it into a face card. This one's going to take too long.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. You got it.
No point to re-roll, and we don't take this. We don't take this. Okay. And
yeah, so if you re-roll, you go down to 24. Because you have parking and because you have rebate, you will actually get above $25. But the next shop after the boss is going to have a voucher, so you want to have like extra budget for that as well. So maybe then, okay, go next.
Okay.
But like those are the things that I think about.
All right, so we know that these are face cards, so we can just get rid of these. So in hindsight, this was not worth taking then, right? I'm guessing, because...
it's not working out so far. It seems like it's probably not going to work out at all, but it's okay. It's okay to speculate on like those kind of early things.
Okay, and then you. We keep the 10, because it's just money. Okay, we don't need you. And we fully discard one more time. Okay.
Yeah, so rebates on 9s. How many 9s are left in your deck?
Oh, you're right. I had 2. 3.
Yeah. So actually 3 9s left. So like one thing you could do is play a hand and then save your discards for the mail-in rebate.
That's probably correct. That is probably correct. Okay.
Okay, that's money.
You hate to
There's
see
those
it.
nines.
Shit. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. It's a lot of
Okay,
face.
so you need 3 of a kind, or you die.
Okay.
Um.
These are the
So
these are
probably
the same.
here, since I have the face down cards, one thing you could do is you could use the sun, and then that'll flip the cards face up. You can see what some of the cards are.
Right. Okay. So let's do so these are potentially hearts. These are diamonds and or okay. The
Yeah,
ordering for the hand is always the same, right? It's like it's in alphabetical or no? Is it in alphabetical?
Yeah,
The
so
suits?
it's still king, high, queen, and then jack.
Oh
So
no!
what I would
like,
do with the
meant for, like,
sun
suits.
is
Is it a specific order like heart? Well,
Oh.
I guess diamonds would
yeah,
be
it's
first.
it's
right?
alternating colors, so it's spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds.
Okay.
So what I would do with the sun is I don't want to hit any of my spades because I already made extra spades. So maybe what we do is the ones on the right are guaranteed to not be spades.
Yeah. Okay. So this is fine then.
Yeah.
So there's 2 jacks here, and 1 king.
2 jacks and a king. Okay, so we lost them.
Oh, did we? I'm so sorry. Did we lose some? No, aren't these the?
You gotta hold on to them.
Sorry, I was excited. I think these are the jacks.
So we got 2 jacks of hearts, probably. If they're not changing order, we got 2 jacks of hearts. If you want, you could play a flush, and the flush will win.
Is this a flush?
That's a good question, my guy. It probably isn't, right? Because we had, let's see here, we had the 1 4 of hearts, and then we had the other 3 we turned into hearts.
Okay, so we could do this and this if we're that scared. Even this one, just to make sure that it is a heart from the fool. Alternatively, we could
You
just
could use the fool as a sun, in case of emergencies. You should be.
It's so funny that they don't move at all. It's actually insane.
The worst case scenario is you have 2 kings, you have 2 queens, and you have 2 jacks. Exactly 2 of each would be the worst.
For this?
Yeah, because you're trying to hit 3 of a kind. Full house also works. So I think knowing that you have 2 jacks, I would select the 5 right face cards.
Okay, wait, hold on. I could be wrong here, but isn't this just 3 jacks or 4 jacks? We know that 2 of them were jacks to begin with, right? And nothing is swapping when you do rank in this. So that either means that this is a queen or it's a jack. These 3 have to be jacks, huh?
If you know you have the jacks, then you could play it. Throw away the 4 too.
Okay. Okay, we know that's a king.
That's a steel king. Yeah.
We know that's a king. Okay. Which means that this is a potentially a queen or a jack, and that so is this one. But these 3 should be the 3 jacks.
Yeah, actually the 3rd card has to be a king. Has to be a king of hearts. Because the steel card is, what is it? It's king of spades. So the 3rd one has to be a king.
Okay. So that means we can play this and we be fine regardless.
For sure, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna rip that. Wait, I'm
No doubt.
Are you sure?
Yeah. 3 kings for sure.
Okay.
Actually, we had 4 kings there.
Okay. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Extra discard, sure.
All right, I'll grab that right now because we can use it. Okay, I like Hangman a lot.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy it because we want to make our deck more consistent anyways. Consistency is good, and we don't have the Joker that cares about getting more cards in our deck, so I'll buy it. We could do 1. So we have no Arcana pack here. In that case, do we buy the pack? We buy these first to see what's in them before we roll.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, no.
No reason not to.
I mean, me personally, like, we definitely don't need this guy. So it's like, do we really care about the 1 reroll? Probably not.
So the way the rerolls work is you get 1 for free, but it doesn't increase the reroll cost. So like normally you would pay $5, $6, $7, but instead it's $0.56. So the one that you discount is actually the last one. You take $7 off. So however many times you reroll, that's how valuable the free one is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you have more money, then the clown is worth more money per round. I would say probably, I don't like parking a lot. So even though you could get like $3 or $4 per hand from the parking, it costs you a hand, and every hand you play costs you $1. And maybe what you want to do is you want to use your hands to save your discards so that you can get more mail-in rebate money. is like maybe better than the parking. And so I would swap the parking for the clown.
Okay, so this is theoretically worth more money based on how much we are re-rolling, but it's also guaranteed money, and it allows us to make more money in return because we're playing less hands. Okay.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I have to reiterate to myself.
Yeah. No, you got it. Okay. You got it.
That's okay. The only one I would consider is an ace. Think I don't really care for the jack.
Yeah, I would say in general, and maybe this is a little bit heartbreaking to hear, aces are no good for you, my guy.
Wait, in this front in particular, or
just aces in general? Aces are, that's the first thing I delete. That's the first thing I remove.
Or aces?
Yeah.
Wait, why? What?
No. You tell me. You tell me. Why do you want aces?
I guess they're the most baseline chip for any card.
Okay.
I guess there are some jokers that interact with aces rather well, but I'm assuming that the potential for aces are very low comparatively to like face cards in general. That's what I'm going to assume.
Yeah. So there, like you said, there's some jokers that care about aces. There's for every rank, there's some amount of jokers that care about that rank. There's more jokers that care about face cards. Like we just had parking. There's also faceless joker. There's also, we said the photograph before. Those types of things. The reason I get rid of aces is because they're far away from being face cards.
Okay.
The idea that the aces give you the 11 chips, and so, sort of the highest chip card, that matters for the first 6 rounds and then not at all after that. So now all of our chips come from, potentially we have some joker, like Wily Joker gives us 100 chips. So it doesn't matter what flavor 3 of a kind we play, as long as we play 3 of a kind. And you get a lot of chips from the planet cards as well.
Okay, so aces suck because if you try to strike them, it takes too long to get back to face cards. They don't have as many good jokers, and the baseline chips start to fall off quite heavily as we go into the late game, or the later rounds, I should say.
That's so it. 1, 2, and 3, you got it.
So the other one here is Jack of Spades, I guess, for another face card, but that's probably not worth adding.
Yeah, so we could add more jacks, but if we add this jack, then it makes it harder for us to find our king that's already steel, our king that's already gold. It makes us harder to find, if we get some kind of valuable card in the future, it'll be harder to find that thing.
Okay, so this one purely is just like, it's not good enough to make our deck less consistent. Okay.
Yeah. And we just got rid of the parking, so we're not like super attached to the base cards necessarily.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So we don't ever sell this clown, right? Like we could sell it for misprint, but it's probably not worth it.
Right.
So that way we just go to the next shop then.
Yeah, and maybe here's like a good point about like re-rolling is when you push that re-roll button, have in mind like a shopping list. Like what are the 3 things that I'm looking for? And one of the things that I'm looking for is I'm looking for tarot cards. And I already have 2 good tarot cards. So if I find another one in the shop, then I won't be able to take it. And so maybe that's a reason not to reroll, is because my slots are already full. And the same with the jokers. Like I don't need any more points. I have the money generating jokers that I need. Maybe I don't reroll yet.
Okay, and you're saying like you have like a shopping list, right? Is there a generic thing you're looking for in almost any game of Balatro? Like I'm assuming Blueprint's really good, or what's the one that's on like a napkin? I forget what it's called.
Brainstorm.
Yeah, Brainstorm.
Similar, yeah.
So those ones I think you'd be looking for, but like, is there anything else in particular that you would re-roll in this case for?
No, not anything not specifically, just like broadly. So like, am I looking for another chips joker? Am I looking for another malt joker? Am I looking for more money jokers?
Okay. And I'm assuming right now in ante for you, all those baselines are covered, so it's not worth re-rolling.
Yeah, very well-rounded build right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to know. Okay, so now we have a completely different game plan because we're not discarding all our hand for face cards here. So in this case, we're trying to discard the maximum we can for 10s.
Maximum mail-in rebate, yeah. Knowing that the 3 of a kind will one-shot. The 3 of a kind face cards.
Okay. And we have Hangman already here. We have the lowest density of clubs. Do you want to just get rid of the 6-2 while we're here? Is that ever worth it?
It's like marginally better to remove 2 cards of the same rank. Like if you could get 2 8s at the same time, that's like marginally better.
Are you ever considering the suits in this particular case when we do this? My logic is like clubs are our lowest to begin with. And then the off chance we ever need to do a flush, then it makes it more consistent that we won't get clubs. That's my logic for that.
Yeah, I would say sometimes you care about the suits. Maybe it just depends on what kind of build you're on. And so since we're on like the 3 of a kind build and like long term, maybe 4 of a kind, maybe 5 of a kind. Long term, we don't care about the suits, or the suits that we care about are only on the face cards. So all of the other spades we have, we don't actually care about.
Okay, so in this case, it is better just to remove 2 of the same card then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
another benefit here is if you remove 2 cards and then you play 5, you get to redraw 7. So you get to see more cards rather than like discard 5, draw 5.
Okay, and did you want to play all 5 cards then? 'Cause we're looking for 10s, I'm guessing, right?
So we have 6 discards. We have 4 hands. So we probably don't need the jacks. We can probably get the 3 of a kind with the kings.
Okay.
Or queens.
Okay, discard. Okay, now you probably saw me hovering over the fool here. Me personally, I would use to get another hangman to get rid of 2 more cards here.
The hangman also makes the mail-in rebate better. The way the mail-in rebate picks a random rank is it picks a random card from your deck. So if you start deleting ranks, then those cards won't get picked.
Now, and do we want to hold it for 2 of the same value again, or would you be okay with just getting rid of like spades and like 2 different spades here? Because regardless, we're gonna get more from a discard anyways if we go for
two of the same ranks is best. And maybe if you don't have that many discards, then you don't get to be that picky. But because we have 5 discards, maybe we can this time. But like in general, maybe you wouldn't be allowed to be that picky.
Okay, it's good to know. Okay, and we're still looking for 10s here. How many 10s do we have? We have 5.
Yeah, okay, so here you could, instead of discarding, you could play a hand. You could throw away the jack, knowing that the 3 of a kind will win on its own. All of my extra hands are just discards.
Okay, so you would play the flush here.
Yeah.
Okay. You would rather get more. You'd rather have the discards for when 10s show up if they ever show up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in this case, because we have the 3 kings anyways, we just play this.
Yep.
Okay. Just thinking for money purposes. Okay, so we don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need this. We're gonna match.
Yeah, you can count. You can count how many cards are left in your deck. So you've got 19. 3 discards. If you go 5 at a time, you get to draw 15. So you get to touch them all, is what I'm saying.
I'm hoping we see it. Okay. We still missed. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, it's still a lot of money. So yeah, we fully discard this.
Yeah. So then, on that last hand, when you had the ace high, instead of discarding, you would play it, and then you would have a discard left over.
You get the guaranteed 10. Yeah, you're very right. Okay.
Yeah, and that applies to mail-in rebate. That also applies to Faceless Joker.
Okay, so in this case, you're talking about like getting rid of 2 of the same card here. We could play this. That would guarantee draw the 6, and we can hangman, and then we just win with the kings.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get rid of these 2. And then we just play this.
Yep.
Okay. I think this is the longest I've ever spent on red stake. Okay. So we don't care about straight flush necessarily, and we don't really care about 2 pair regardless. So we could take the reroll here because we want to do it for the Arcana pack.
Yeah. Okay.
So how do you feel about bootstraps here?
Generally, it's pretty mid. It's not very strong. I think the drawback of like not being able to spend your money is pretty rough. But currently we have nothing, and so maybe we take it since we have nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about like card games in general, but I always err on the safe side. So
yeah,
I think I would go towards the bootstraps here, especially because we're not like in Hearthstone. I have to play to win, so I'd have to like in theory like re-roll the game. In this one, it's playing not to lose almost.
Right. So something you could think about is like, okay, if I don't take the bootstraps, that doesn't automatically mean we lose. It just means it's harder to score. So in the next round, I need to get a full house of face cards and a 3 of a kind. I need both. And so maybe that's difficult. And because that's difficult, not impossible, just difficult, then it makes it more difficult for me to get the mail-in rebate money. And so taking the bootstraps makes me safer. And if I'm safer, I can be greedier. I can get more money, actually.
Okay, I like that. And then this also lets technically the Arcana pack be better if we get like Temperance. So
yeah. So between the Celestial pack and Arcana pack, we said most of the time it doesn't matter, except now we just use the Hanged Man. And so I want to try to get a Fool before opening the Celestial pack.
Okay, I get that.
Death is also great.
Death is also good. And in this case, we're probably copying a queen, or how do you feel with the 10?
I would say, okay, here's an important pivot, or here's an important decision. So we have the choice between either we can make another queen and just have more face cards and make the 3 of a kind safer, or we can make a glass card. And as far as like the giga high scores, the glass cards are going to be the deciding factor. And so you want to make them early and often as much as possible.
Okay, so I guess we're making a glass card here. Do we pick the jack because it's the only one that doesn't have like an enchantment on it? Whatever.
I would say at this point, maybe the bonus cards don't matter that much anymore. So maybe don't worry about that. I would do the queen because it's closer to a king of spades.
Okay. That's probably never worth it, right? You would rather have money.
Vouchers are really important for really long runs, but in the context of multiplayer, maybe you just don't have enough time for that to really matter.
Okay. If we're not okay, so let's just take away multiplayer for 1 second. Let's just say we're just going for the highest score possible. Would you skip the blind here?
I wouldn't skip here, no.
Okay.
The one skip that you're looking for is investment tag in ante 1 only. That's the one that gives you $25.
That's the only thing you're skipping for.
Yeah, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but that's like 99% of the time that's the one.
Okay. So discarding here, does it matter? Not really.
If you draw a king, you could play the 4 of a kind without the gold card, and then you get extra money. You could consider playing the 5 of a kind here.
Is this not enough points? Now you got me scared.
So okay.
It's plus 100. It's 220, and then plus 40 more, so it's 260. 260 plus 20 malt, so we're at 33, and then plus 22, we're at 55. So 360 times 55.
So 3 of a kind with the banana was about 7,500. The boots is a little bit bigger than banana. It's 22 instead of 15. So 3 of a kind wins. 4 of a kind is going to be obviously bigger than that. That also wins. You could play the 4 of a kind and then you get the $3 from the gold card. The one benefit to playing the 5 of a kind is if I unlock the 5 of a kind earlier, then I can start getting the planet cards earlier. Because you can't find the 5 of a kind planet card until you play the hand at one time.
If we're thinking like high-end end game here, 5 of a kind is obviously better than 4 of a kind. So you're spending $3 to unlock the 5 of a kind planet.
That's it. I'm spending $3 to get the unlock.
Okay. And I think that's fine because we have enough money anyways.
Yeah. And the benefit of the 5 of a kind over the 4 of a kind is 5 cards is 1 extra glass card. You play 5 glass.
Okay. Jesus Christ. The Baron?
Yeah.
You like, okay, play gold cards, earns $4 in cards. Okay, we're not taking that. So if we're thinking like the most long con play of all time, you want to try to go for Naniv? You got enough time?
So if you're just trying to get the biggest number that you can get in 8 antes, I think maybe the Baron is a little bit slow. I think you're going to have a tough time getting there that fast.
Yes, I would agree.
And so I would probably not do it.
Okay, so in the multiplayer context, Baron sucks. If we're going for like Nan Inf here in a fun run, like we're taking the Baron here 100%, just so I'm clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, another thing to consider, currently Bootstraps is capping our spending. Like if we spend too much, then the Bootstraps doesn't give us enough mult and then we lose that way. So maybe swapping the boots for the Baron. The Baron won't give us as many points as the boots does, but the Baron will allow us we can spend our money.
I like that. I'm good with that, and then we can take the reroll. Seltzer's fine, but we probably don't need it. I don't mind rerolling again here. This is too late. Probably never take it. Is this one like one of the worst ones of the game?
It's a build around. If you lean into it, it can be strong enough. I mean, it's a common Joker, right? So you get a common Joker worth of value out of it. It doesn't fit very well into like the going for the face card plan because it really wants you to have a ton of 8s. Seltzer is actually pretty good.
Oh, is it? I would take it in like, especially if I'm going for the highest points possible. Like in multiplayer context, I think Seltzer's probably really good to take, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking right now we probably don't need it, especially what we just saw with like how much a 5 of a kind did. So that's where like I wouldn't take it, but in the multiplayer context, I think you're absolutely right. Like, I think it is worth taking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what you could do is if you just play one hand every round, you just win with one hand. Then Seltzer lasts for 3 antes, 9 whole rounds.
You're right.
Is kind of a lot.
In the context of multiplayer, because we are playing to win, the Seltzer does give you potentially like the the winning play, which means that you don't lose. You're gaining a life and you're also getting rid of theirs. But
it gives you like that burst scoring, like you just come out of nowhere. Also, actually, if you have smiley face, then it's pretty good with smiley face.
Oh, you are actually very right. It's actually extremely fun with the context of multiplayer because it changes the whole dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
Reroll one more time. I don't know if we really want Space Joker. He's kind of
it's too erratic. The probability's too low.
Okay. We could roll one more time, but I'm actually okay with opening this.
Yeah, you could buy both booster packs, and then you can save for the next ante. Having the king and being able to play your 4 of a kind or being able to play your 5 of a kind is worth more than the steal. Like that's going to be the number one priority. Is I want my hand to be playable. I want it to be consistent.
Right, and obviously we want to have as many kings as possible. And I'm assuming we're also using the strength on the 10, so it becomes a jack.
Yeah, 10 is fine, and then that's another jack.
Okay, we can see what's in here. Okay, I mean, I think we're grabbing that one.
Okay, no discussion needed.
Okay. Okay. All right, we should be good there. Okay, and we're looking for 4s. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Okay, and then
is that all the 4s, or we got one more?
There's 2 more. This is surely enough, right? And we don't need to unlock the 5 of a kind, right?
That's it. You already got it unlocked, so we can get the $3 here.
Okay, amazing.
Oh, look, he's a filthy methologist.
Okay, this is good. I mean, we're probably by Matt.
Yeah.
So that pays for itself. Okay, and we don't care about Jupiter, so we can reroll. Okay, reroll. No. Thoughts on Campfire?
In like gold stake runs, it's incredible. It's very powerful. I think if you in multiplayer, you could get up to like maybe ×5 is the biggest that you can get, but only for 1 round. I don't think it's a sustainable long-term plan.
Okay, so if you're going for like huge numbers later, okay.
Yeah.
Again, we don't care for this. That's 2 weeks, so we don't want that either. So I can do 1 more. Okay, let's buy this then. Glass on the jack, probably.
Yeah, more glass cards.
Okay, wonderful. Then we're looking for Planet X, I'm assuming. Or do you want the 4 of a kind?
4 of a kind is easier to play in the short term, but 5 of a kind is going to be worth more long term.
Okay. We have time. And we don't want to re-roll here, so we're chilling. Okay. We just keep kings. We do not want to play the jack, right? So do this. There's the 7. I think we're fine with discarding all of this. We play this. Hopefully get the last 7. Holy
Dang, he's greed maxing. He's doing the thing.
Okay. Do we play 1 king, 1 3, hope we hit the 7?
Oh, wait. You only have 1 hand left.
Oh, you're actually so right. Okay. Sorry, I was seeing the money and everything else.
You got a little lost in the sauce there for a second.
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, we're just jamming this, right?
Yeah, 5 of a kind wins. There's no reason not to.
Okay. Yeah, I was absolutely lost in the sauce. I was very excited there. All right. 5 of a kind with 1 steel card there, I think, is 56,000 for kings. Feels good. Okay. Don't need this. We're gonna re-roll. I will buy this. Okay, so would you use the full here for Planet X? Would you save it for hopefully like a death or something?
I wouldn't. Yeah, so your priorities are going to be Hangman, Death, Justice, those 3. And I think like Death and Hangman are worth more than $20. If there's like a Hermit, I would rather have a Fool on one of those.
Okay, I got you. Roll one more time. Oh my god.
I got a question.
What's up?
So you said you scored 56,000 there, right? Okay, so how much do you score if you sell Wily Joker?
Yeah, hold on. So we no longer get the 3 of the kind, so it's minus 100. I'm literally gonna do the math here for the record. You're saying 5 of a kind? And are we saying, let's say there's no steel card, so it's 225?
Yeah, okay, so it's 300 with Wily Joker, it's 200 without. So it's 2/3 as much.
2/3 as much.
which means
Makes
we're good.
sense.
As far as like the next
That makes
ante,
sense.
we're good. Which means Wily Joker is disposable. You could replace
Oh,
it.
okay. Sure.
Not here, obviously, there's nothing to take, but like in the future, like, okay, Wily Joker, I'm no longer attached to it. Maybe even Smiley Face could go at some point.
Okay, so you're just saying like, what's the worst Joker you have now to get an upgrade at some point?
That's
to
it.
think of that as your word,
Yeah,
you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's generally kind of the pace with White Stake. So it's something that makes White Stake different from Gold Stake is because the scoring requirements are so low, then you can win with just planet cards in the end game.
Right. Okay. But obviously, in higher stake, you have to think a little bit more about.
You need more points, so then you need more jokers.
Okay.
But then like that could be a way to like squeeze out more value.
I get you. Okay. Oh my god. See, it's interesting. You do a lot of the calculations. I think I just send it.
Yeah. You know, it's a balance between like you don't want to actually get out the calculator, but you want to like ballpark it.
Sure. I can respect that. Blackboard's probably not good for us. No. I don't think I've ever used this Joker before.
It's pretty weak. I think it'll get the job done on Gold Stake, but generally speaking, pretty weak.
Sell Wily, we go for the randomness.
I think Wily's better than a random Joker. I don't think we need Wily forever, but it's better than a random Joker. How dare you?
I know you said you like getting rid of the same card, but what about just like the ace and the six? Because like these could get strength up to jacks and stuff. I don't know if that's very
I mean, at some point you're gonna remove them all, so you might as well remove ace and six, sure.
Okay, and then we can fool for a hangman.
All right, so what you're telling me is removing 4 cards is better than $40.
Yes.
I agree. I totally agree.
Wait, what do you pick?
No, you did it right. Yeah.
This one? Because it's red seal. Red seal is the most important one.
You only need 1 red seal that you turn into glass and then you copy it.
Okay, so, and it's harder to find red seal than it is to find glass.
Well, I would say for like PvP, maybe actually the glass king is better.
Okay, but if we're going
Except in the case where you have the Baron specifically. So like the Baron actually doesn't care that you play the kings, it cares that you hold the kings, and so the red seal is better with the Baron.
Okay, and let's say we don't have the Baron and we're not playing for multiplayer here, you'd pick this one because it's easier to find glass than it is red seal.
If I didn't have the Baron, wouldn't take any here.
Okay, so can you explain a little bit more? I guess it's a completely different situation because you don't care about kings nearly as much and you're probably playing for something different.
Yeah. So, okay. Baron is better when you have more kings.
Right.
We have 6 discards. We only have 49 cards on deck, or we're going to use the Hangman to go down to 47. I already can touch all of my cards. I can already... I have enough kings. I only need 1 hand worth of kings. I don't need any extra kings.
Okay, so because you'll only need to play 1 hand of 5 of a kind, there's no point to add the extra redundancy because you're going to go through your entire deck.
Yeah. And so my thought is towards like, okay, I want to get a red seal so that I can turn it into glass and so that I can start copying it. I don't need a second red seal. I already have the one that I can start enhancing. If this were PvP, then like the glass card gives you that burst scoring where you can, do a lot of points in this one round. If this were an earlier round, maybe the blue seal would make sense to take that early blue seal. Maybe it's a little bit too late for that.
Okay. Interesting. But in this, because we have Baron, we're going to pick this up. Okay. That's a lot of thought. See, like, I think regardless of Baron, I might have taken the red seal lucky card just because of how good that looks.
Yeah, lucky activation on average is $1. It's like $1.2 or something like that. So red seal, it's $2 every time you play that card. So maybe that's worth it for the $2.
Okay.
Well.
That one is, we're picking that one up. So the question is, what is the worst thing here? Is Chaos the Clown finally gone? I think I value 100 chips more than I value the reroll now. Actually, I don't know if it really matters, does it? I think we have enough points regardless.
So the way we evaluate the Wily Joker, when we play the 5 of a kind is 200 chips. Wily Joker is 50% more. So Wily Joker is the same as a times 1.5. Wily Joker is the same as an extra king on the Baron.
Okay, so you're saying that this basically is replacing itself, but this has more flexibility later in the game. You'd rather keep the Chaos the Clown.
Yeah, I'd rather keep the money.
Okay. And I'm assuming we're copying...
I mean, you get to do it all. You get to copy the mail-in rebate when you discard and get money, and then you get to copy probably the Baron at the end.
Okay. All right, nice. This is crazy. Okay. Yeah, what is more points? So this just gives us plus. Well, the re-trigger is actually gonna kind of go crazy here, but I think it's still in Baron. 5 of a kind. I mean, this is actually more because we don't have any kings in hand if we play a 5 of a kind here.
So, right. Is that going to be enough?
I literally don't think I can do the mental math in my head.
Okay. Well, let's see here. If you need to get 22,000, then it's 220 times 100. Can you get 100 mold?
So this would be plus 10, plus 10. No, plus 20, plus 20. Blueprint, plus smiley faces, plus 10 on this. And then it does it again. So it's plus 20, plus 20. This is then plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. That is 70. And then we're at 91.
It's 91. So it's a little bit short.
Yikes.
So here you could play your 4 jacks. You could play a full house, queens and jacks.
Oh, because the king's in hand.
Yeah.
I think 4 of a kind's better than a 3 kind, right?
If you play the 2 queens with the jacks, you could play the full house. You probably don't need the glass card.
Probably. Okay, so hold on, let's do the math again.
And then you can copy the Baron here.
Okay, so copy the Baron. So that case, it's going to be plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. So 25, we go to 29. And then we do still get the 3 of the kind. We don't have the 3 of the kind card anymore. So it's plus 30, plus 50, so 50. And then this is a lot of multiplication here.
Yeah, every king is times 2. So that's like 7 times 2.
Should be enough then.
Yeah.
Absolutely should be enough. And then it's also times 1.5, and then it also re-triggers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with this. Yeah, should be fun. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, it was enough on the second king. It was enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. The sugar gains for every jack discarded this round. How many jacks we have?
Not a crazy amount.
That's not an insane amount. Okay.
Photograph is strong. Photograph would be a replacement for your smiley face. Because
Really?
photograph only happens on the first face card, and then so after you get the times 2, then smiley face gives you plus 5s after the fact.
Right. Okay. So then that actually doesn't seem as good. We're looking for Chad over this then.
It's still worth taking the photograph early because it's an upgrade over smiley face. In the short term, it's an upgrade, and then long term, you can get the retriggering jokers for it, or also the red seal you can retrigger.
Right. Okay.
And then so that's like the classic like high score hand is you get Chad with the photograph.
Okay. Then we can do one more. Okay. Let's do you. I mean, listen, I don't know about you, but I'm ripping the wheel.
I mean, I don't see anything else worth doing. Might as well.
Nice. Okay. God dang it. Okay, let's do this. We don't go under the threshold. Planet X is good, I guess. We could take 4 of a kind here. But again, if we're going for like late, holy moly, times 21. They're about the same, no?
Well, right now it is. But in the future,
better.
maybe, with the glass cards, the 5 of a kind is going to be better. And then so it's worth going all in. You could have held on to the chariot and then waited in the next round to use the steel on your red seals.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah. All right, so challenge for you, Rarran, okay?
Okay, what's up?
It's ante-6 now. When you get to the boss, I want you to try to get the biggest number that you can in ante-6.
Okay, I'm locked in. I said the wheel. Okay.
So easy boss. Okay.
Easy for okay. And this is the training arc for multiplayer.
Oh, don't forget to put the blueprint on the.
Oh, you are so right. You are so right.
So your question is, okay, do I need the steel or not? That's what your question is.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Also, is it better to do blueprint on the photograph or the Baron?
Oh God, dude, Rolf will try to explain this whole thing to me.
There are more complicated situations than this one. Maybe this one's not that complicated.
Okay, so let me do the math here. So
okay.
Let's say it's this. I'm assuming we're doing we would always do on the red seal if we're gonna play it like this. So This is times 2, re-trigger times 2. But because you're blueprinting it, it also does times 2. So that is a lot of math. It's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is what? 4, 8, 16?
Yeah.
Alternatively, it is this, which means, oh God. Okay, hold on. Times 1.5 times 2. But this is re-triggered again, so it does it twice. And you said, what's the math here? So it's 1.5, and then if you times that by 2, it's almost 2. And then is it 2 times 1.5 again? So then it's what, like almost 3? 3.25? And then you times that again, that's like almost 5 just for the first card.
Yeah, compared to, you said it was like times 16 or whatever. So
but then that's
first
not
figure out
them,
how many cards do you want to play. Do you want to play 4 cards or do you want to play 5 cards?
God, I mean, I think it matters on the math though, right? Because if okay.
If you play less cards, then the Baron's better. If you play more cards, then the photograph will be better, but we'll explain why.
Okay, so this is 260 times 24, and this is 120 times 13.
We play the 5 of a kind instead of the 4 of a kind because the 5 of a kind currently has twice as many chips and twice as much base mold. So that's already 4 times as good compared to the 4 of a kind. Okay, so knowing already that I'm going to play the 5 of a kind, I only actually have 1 king for the Baron. So the 1 king is times 1.5 compared to the photograph is a times 2.
So then this is better.
Yeah.
0.5.
And then the second question is,
do
I need the steel card or am I okay with the gold card?
I mean, I'm pretty sure in this case we are good regardless. So you're right. It's probably this. In the scheme of, let's say this is in the multiplayer setting, I think I'm doing this to get as many points as possible.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, but in this case, because we're not playing in multiplayer, this is fine. So we can do this.
Yeah. So we're acknowledging this is not our best. This is not my final form.
we can go a step up. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're good with this.
Now, if you wanted to get really advanced, you could say, okay, actually, I don't need 180,000. What I could do is I could not play the red seal, and I could use the devil to make a red gold card for $6.
Yes. You're so right. Hey, do you want to buy this just to have 2 planet cards? Probably not, right?
We get 1 because we have the devil that we're holding on to.
Okay, talk that then. Yeah, okay. Too easy. I think this is fine. We probably don't need to get that, but okay. We could buy this for the future.
Yeah. Real quick before we move on, that would be a good situation to open the Celestial Pack when there's 2 planet cards in the shop. You know those aren't going to be in the Celestial Pack.
You're right. I actually kind of forgot about that. All right, we'll open it now. But I guess we can reroll one more time. It's just...
Yeah, we got money. Pick the rebate. 9s. Okay.
Okay, I got punished for what you just said.
Yep, there's another Jupiter card.
Whatever, it's fine. We'll take it. Okay, I'm only getting what? Maybe none of these. I mean, I can maybe see this being good, but I don't think it's needed. Do we really care about the extra tarot card?
I would say generally, if I'm just trying to get the highest score that I can in ante 6 and 7 and 8, I would say maybe it's too late for the purple seal in general. But because we have 6 discards, it actually doesn't hurt us to add another card.
Okay, I can buy that logic. Sure, because so a lot of discards means we could do that.
Yeah. Every discard that's plus 5 cards, you get to see 5 more cards.
Okay, okay. So we want to make sure that we're doing this. Do we want to just use the devil on the king card here to get it out of the way?
Yeah, and then that opens up the emperor.
Okay, I'm down for it. We can always change it to glass after. It's not that big a deal. Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't think we need to fool the devil. So the question is, do we want to get another emperor? Technically, it's infinite.
The things that you're trying to get right now, like the highest value, are going to be justice and death.
Right.
And okay, like let's say the emperor gives you 2 tarot cards, 2 random tarot cards. How easy or how difficult it is to get 2 random tarot cards just in general?
I would say it's like not that difficult, but
yeah. And so okay, well then maybe I can get more tarot cards from just shopping, from re-rolling, and then when I do get the one good one, then the fool will copy it.
Okay, so you're saying
maybe that's better than
Emperor's not worth fooling. You'd rather fool something.
Yeah. In general, I think Emperor is not worth fooling. And then whether or not you use the fool for a devil depends on how early it is. Maybe now it's too late for that.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so now we gotta go back to the math here. Okay, hold on. The blueprint on the photograph is still more if we're playing 5 cards. Which means, do we want to hold this in? Is it worth more to do? Oh my god, this is actually an insane math problem here. Because if we're playing 5 cards, we want to play this and do this most likely. This would proc this the most. I guess we can keep the
that would give you the most possible points. Yeah.
Well, this isn't the boss. I mean, I'm thinking this like this matters. Like we're not gonna get above 5,000 points here. So So
No. You know, you're trying to figure out like where the tolerance is. You know, where your limits are.
I think this is fine. We could just do this, and then we'll when we get to the boss, I'll actually like hard think about it. See what the most points is. This is a lot of points though, but it's not like an insane amount. Okay. Okay, so I think like I kind of want to buy that, which means
maybe that's not terrible. Maybe it's not the worst.
Okay, do we still need more money? Or you think the chaos the cloud's worth less than the? I think the mail-in rebate's probably worth more than the chaos the cloud.
Mail-in rebate you can copy with blueprint, so mail-in rebate's worth more for sure.
Okay, let's get that in there. All right, so that now we're just looking for brainstorm. Oh. Okay, so is the banana ever worth it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Is it? So the question is like photograph worth it now or mail-in rebate? Because if we're keeping these three this year, they're probably a non-negotiable at this point. So the question is, do we still need money?
Photograph becomes even more worth it because you have the red seals and because you could get a Chad. Chad is a common joker, and so that's one of your possible outs. If we want to start maximizing score starting now, then we can get rid of the money. We can get rid of the mail-in rebate. Mime gives you money. You can copy the mime with the blueprint.
You're so right. Okay, I'm done. All right, hold on.
Mime is going to re-trigger the gold cards.
Let me ship you another idea here. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, never mind. This can't be negative. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll sell this first. I'll buy this. I'm also buying this. God dang it. And then we get to... So now that we lost the mail-in rebate, do we want to continue rolling down? So the only thing I'm looking for, what is like hanging Chad? And I guess maybe...
Hanging Chad, yeah.
So
you're looking for a death card?
Okay, we can re-roll a little bit then.
The Fool is not going to be a chariot anymore because you spun the wheel.
Right, but we could just... I mean, the wheel's better, right? This is a joke. This is a joke. Okay. One more, I guess, is fine. Okay. And we still want to go for these?
Yeah.
Or do we want to use one more, see if we can get one planet card?
Yeah, it's like a 1 in 4 chance.
Okay, we suck. It's probably only 4 of a kind here. Could do... No, I was going to say maybe full house, but...
So the Baron gets better when you play lower ranking hands. So if you could get high card or if you could get pair, it would be very worthwhile.
That better? Okay, we'll get pair.
Yeah.
And voucher. Probably worth it.
So I really like Tarot Merchant, and especially in multiplayer, because of like how powerful the glass cards are and like getting deaths and the hangman and stuff like that. So I almost always take the Tarot Merchant. And even more so now, your Joker slots are already full, and so I don't really need Jokers anymore. I just need cleaner deck building.
I got you. Okay.
All right. Your challenge, get the biggest number you can this round.
Okay. Let me think this through. So we don't care about money anymore. I'm just looking for as many kings as possible. Okay, so, and that means that we know that this is not a king, so I'm okay with doing this. Okay, we don't need these. Don't need these. Don't need these. Okay. And we know that this is a... I don't know if I have any aces. We do have aces in the deck. If I suit it doesn't change anything. So there's a chance that this is an ace. Play this, play this. Do we play this is the question.
What happens if you sort by suit?
Nothing changes.
Okay, so it could be an ace of spades. How many kings of spades do you have?
We have an ace.
Oh, you don't have any more kings of spades. It has to be an ace.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because we only have 3. Okay, yeah, you're right. So we can just play it. Yeah, you're right. Oh, but we lost the money. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just... Oh.
All right, you lose. I'll give you another chance. Next round. Okay, so like pause. Okay. So like this is kind of the point. This is kind of the power of the synergy between X-Molt and then retrigger. Retrigger the X-Molt. And so that could be like retrigger the glass cards. That could be like retrigger the photograph. That could be retrigger the Baron is what we did there. And so that's what you're looking for. Usually the reason why you don't do Baron and Mime in multiplayer is because it's hard to get that exact combination together. Whereas like it's much more flexible to go for the glass cards re-triggering.
I get you. I get you. Okay. Yeah, this build is like, we have a really good build to go like late game, like super late game here.
Yeah.
So I'm always buying liquidation before I do anything here. Just saves money, so that's fine. I guess we could reroll. Actually, I don't want this in my Arcana pack. What do you think about using this right now?
You could hold on to it. You could buy it for $1. You could sell it for $1.
Right. Oh yeah, it's sell. All right, money.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, thoughts? I like this. Last card, red seal.
With the Baron and the Mime, holding the king in hand might be worth more.
Okay.
But maybe long term you could, with the Chad, the glass king would be worth more. You could make it into glass now and then you don't have to play it. You could still hold it in hand with the Baron and the Mime. So definitely I would do it.
Okay. We'll check this. We don't care. And can we roll one more time? Strength, or we have 3 queens.
Okay.
We don't care about you. I guess I could use it to get one planet in C, because I'm gonna sell it for $1 anyways, right?
Yeah.
So we can see what it is. I don't know if we're planning on going for Nan Nymph here, right?
No, the high card's better. You could just sell the Mercury.
Okay, and then yeah, we want this. All right, and then we go to the next. Okay, seems pretty good. Does this one shot is my question here?
It was like 1,000,000 points last time when you had the blueprint on the Mime.
Is it just this? The try? I don't know if there's any way for like me not to just win the game here in one go.
If you play 3 kings, it'll be less points.
Okay, so you want to go for like what, this?
Yeah, play all the steel ones so that you don't get the times 1.5s.
Okay. And I'm assuming I'm putting the blueprint here, so we try not to get as much points as possible.
Yeah. So like what are we trying to draw here? We're trying to draw the red seals because those are worth more points. We're trying to draw the gold cards maybe.
Oh, nice.
Even that's already kind of insane.
Okay, so wait, do we have another? The only other red seal, I mean, other than the 4 is like we probably just do it on this. This looks fine. We just need one more strength. I mean, I think if I play this and this, it's probably just GG, which is fine.
Yeah, it'll end the round. The gold queen, if you hold it in hand, you can use the blueprint on the Mime. It's worth $9 for the one.
Right. That is for sure being bought. We don't even care about you. Reroll here. Okay. Do I death a 3 into the jack? Probably not, right? I think I want to actually convert like the red seal.
Yeah. So you just like, what's the best card in my deck? That's the one that I want to make more of, and you're allowed to be patient.
Okay, I guess I'm just doubling what, like an ace or maybe? I don't even know.
Probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters because we're probably gonna get discard there anyways. Okay, let me do here.
If you randomly draw the ace, like I said, it is $9 from the Mime because it's gold.
Yeah, I gotta remember that just for the money purposes. Okay, so we don't want to reroll again. Go here. Okay, so when Rafa was doing the like an inf with me, he was talking about blueprint versus Baron versus the Mime. I think we came down to the conclusion that on the Mime it is better. I think if you're playing high card, I think that's what it came down to. I hope I'm right.
It's contextual, but I can talk you through how to figure it out. You know.
Okay, go for it.
So you want to balance the number of X-mult effects and the number of triggers. You know that already. Okay, you heard that story.
Yes,
yes. So how do we do that? How do we count? So every card activates once, and then the red seal makes it activate a second time. So that's already 2. All of the red seals are happening twice. Then the Mime adds 1 more.
Right.
So the first 3 kings are going to happen twice, and then the second set of 3 kings are going to happen 3 times each. And then what kind of effects are we re-triggering? Well, we've got Steel is 1, and we've got Baron is 1 more. Okay. That's it. So without the blueprint, you have the first 3 cards are happening. Times 1.5 happens twice on each of the first 3 cards, and then the times 1.5 happens 2 times 3 times on the second set of 3 cards. Does that make sense?
Say the last sentence one more time.
So for the last 3 cards, you have Steel and Baron. That's 2 effects times how many triggers? Well, it's 1 card triggers by itself automatically. Red Seal is number 2. Mime is number 3.
Right.
So 2 effects times 3. And then the first 2 cards are 2 effects times 2.
So
what you want to do is you want to balance the number of effects and the number of triggers. And generally, because the card always counts itself, and because Red Seal always counts 1 more, usually you want to put your copy jokers on the scoring side instead of the re-triggering side to balance that out.
And the scoring side is the Baron.
The Baron, yeah.
I'm so sorry, you're awful. I fucked up.
You still want to have them relatively even, but if you have like an odd number, then you go 1 more on the Baron, or if it's Idle and Sock and Buskin, if it's like, you know, you have the glass effects and the re-triggering effects.
Because of how we're doing this and this is enough to get past all these points. Like, it's not even close, right?
That wins, but we also have the photograph, so you could ask the question, if we wanted to make the biggest number, do we get more points when we play the glass king?
Well, absolutely. That's not the question. The question, like, do you want to just test this for science? Is pretty much what you're saying.
No. Okay. You already know that's bigger. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. It's not even a question if it's big or not. It's more like, do we just get past this, right?
Oh, yeah. We pass for sure if you just play the 9. Yeah.
Okay. That's basically what it comes down to, right?
And then move the blueprint to the left. And then you'll get extra copy of the mime.
Oh my God.
You get to double dip the blueprint.
Okay, so start with Baron and with mime. Move blueprint over after you hit.
Okay. Yeah.
That is insane. Okay. So let me move that back just in case we need that. We could sell you and I will buy you. You actually make me money. Okay, we'll keep you. Do 1 more. Okay. Hangman, pretty good.
Huge.
Let's get rid of this, I guess. Doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah.
Want to use any of these? Not really. And I guess we'll peek in here. I mean, these ones probably don't really matter. So I guess I'll just take this one.
Yeah.
And then we go to the next round. Okay. Lose $1 per card played. That's just rude. Okay.
It is rude.
It is. Why would they do that? Okay, let's see this. Oh, nice. All right, let's sell you. Let's get you. Okay. Just went in kind of like a circle. It is what it is. This. I kind of want to keep that for like the.
If you keep it, it gives you money.
We're going for the highest number here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's live in a world where I play this and this.
Okay.
I think in this particular case, I could be wrong, but playing 1 card is stronger here than playing 5 because of our current build. Because we have so much re-triggers on hand effects. So I think this is unless I play this. Actually, maybe it's this. This would be the highest, I think.
All right. Okay. So we gotta think hard here. Actually.
Oh God.
So let's see here.
Okay.
So. If you keep the red seal in hand and then you do the Baron and the Mime, that 1 card is going to be times 1.5. That's going to happen 9 times.
Holy. Okay. That's probably more than playing it on its own, right?
Yeah, it's like it's at least times 30. So if I play the glass card, does the glass card get me times 30? Probably not.
No way. No, it's not. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's just,
if you just play the queen, that's already a times 2. It's still a face card.
All right. So this is the highest we can get, right? I technically could do like move this over. I could play this, and try to get a steel king here.
It'll be too much. It'll end.
And so this is just the highest we can go.
We have 1 more piece of technology.
What's that?
You got the tower.
Okay, so you're saying put this on the 3?
Yeah. So without it, it's 15 chips. And if I add 50 on top of 15, that's like times 4.
So even though it's only high card, the stone card still gets triggered.
Yeah. If you stone the 3. Stone cards always score.
Okay. So the piece attack. Okay, so this is the highest amount.
Hey, that's a times 4 that's bigger than the banana, man. That's huge.
You're actually right. You're actually so right. Okay. All right. I think this is the highest then, right? And then we grab this, move this to the end.
Look at him dance.
Oh my god.
I mean, you got Naninf before, right? So you've done this dance before.
Yes, yes. We did it slightly different than this way, though, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the... How long have we've been doing this run for 2.5 hours? Okay, I'm buying that for sure.
Yeah.
We can re-roll. I buy that. I'm buying both. I don't even know why I'm buying 5 icon anymore, to be honest with you. It's actually like not even worth it, I don't think, right?
Yeah,
oh
so if we want to think about like practice, okay, so like what could we learn here in the next 3 rounds that we didn't already learn in the first 20 rounds or whatever, right? So the thing that we want to focus on now is with the current build, how do we make the build stronger? Because that's a scenario that's going to come up a lot. You know, no matter where you are in your multiplayer match, your high score, whatever, you're in round 15, you're in round 17. Okay, how can I make the build stronger from where it currently is?
Well, we buy that.
Absolutely. That's a ×2. That's huge.
I don't even know what Joker I want. Is hanging Chad worth more than the photograph?
The Chad combos with the photograph and replaces the banana.
It's stronger than because yes, it is stronger than the banana. It absolutely is.
Yeah. 2 more ×2s is a ×4.
Shit. I think strength is worse than these two, so I'm not taking it.
Good. Yeah. Agreed.
And I'll see if there's anything else in here. I mean, is that good? Steel card.
Steel King is going to be better than a generic king. We only have hand size 9. We just picked up the voucher, so we have hand size 9. So you can only hold 8 kings in hand. What are going to be like the best 8 kings?
All red steel cards.
Yeah, so
not needed.
This Steel King is better than an average card in your deck, but if you take this king, it makes it harder for you to draw the red seals.
Amen. Okay, you're right. Looking here, not worth it. Wait, this is going to take too long. Okay. So in this case, we can get rid of these 2.
Yeah. In this round, we don't need to get maximum score. This round, we're going for value. We're going for gold cards for money.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna do this because I think it's fine. We could play 1 card. I don't know if it's gonna. Like, I could do this technically and just try to get more the 1 last king, but I don't know if that's really worth it because we're losing money anyways. But it is a lot more. I mean, it is more money if we do find it.
1 gold card is worth $9. You have a pretty good chance of getting it, since you only have 17 cards. You also have a pretty good chance that playing the high card just wins anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I mean,
you just ship it and then move the blueprint on the mime just in case. Well, after you send it. Just in case. And now you know what your tolerance is. You know, okay, if I've got 3 kings, that's enough kings. I can discard everything else.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. No. Oh. Good. Terrific.
Huge.
No. I'll do like...
He's done it.
We're just that good. Okay.
Amazing plays.
Okay, we don't need this. I'm not gonna reroll again. It's getting a little too pricey for me. So we'll go here. Looking for... Oh, baby. Okay,
Hashtag blessed.
Actually, though, okay, so I'm gonna sell this just so we never use it. Maybe I should have held it because we opened another pack. It was probably better. I'm gonna hang in the 3s, and then we'll keep the deaths for in game so we can copy something else instead.
Nice.
And we're looking for high card here.
Nice.
Easy, and then we go to the next one.
Okay. This boss is gonna disable the random joker, so let's try to go for the big number here in this round. Big
number here. Okay, so
yeah.
First things first. I'm okay with doing this, but because we want to find as much kings as possible, I think it's fine just getting rid of... We're most likely playing the queen, and we're most likely playing the stone card, I think. We could also get rid of this king because we don't need it.
If possible, you want to play the glass. That would give you the biggest...
The highest... Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this case, we don't care about the queen then, so I'll do this then. Okay, so there's the glass king.
Okay.
We don't have a glass... red seal, so we do. So we want to find that one if we can.
You got 5 discards, so 5 discards is 25 cards. So you can throw away some kings, and you probably don't need the stone card anymore. Like just having another king would be better than the stone card.
You're probably right. Okay. And we don't care for this one. Better kings because we're not gonna play it anyways.
Yeah, you could throw the gold one out too.
Yeah, I was gonna say we probably don't need it.
And just like count how many kings are left.
Ooh.
Disgusting.
Ooh.
How dare you?
That's crazy. Okay, we can discard this. All right, we got one more discard. Unfortunately, did not get that one. That is actually crazy.
That's okay.
But we can play the card, move this here, and just hang out.
This will be too much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm upset.
It'll be 1,000,000. You play the 7, it'll be 1,000,000 points.
Okay. Well, we're gonna copy this then,
Okay.
and then we're gonna fool to copy this again. If we're going for max points here, by the way, that's why I'm doing this. I think if I was going for like Nan Inf, I would have held for the actual glass, maybe. Actually, I don't even know if it's needed then, because we're only gonna play one card anyway, so this is actually fine, no?
Yeah.
This is good. Okay, so we do this, and then we're playing this one. And that is the highest after moving that over.
Yeah. So maybe the one minor misplay, and it's very minor, is in the opening hand, you could have played a hand of... So like you play a hand before you draw the card.
Yeah, so that way I would have not had... Yeah. I wouldn't have broke the points, and then it would have given me an extra like discard in the sense. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And you would have been able to draw the glass card.
Okay. And ordering is fine. And then we just move this over after we play this.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if you don't have any gold cards.
I guess that's fair. Oh my god. Nice.
All right. And you did all of that in 20 rounds. You did all of that before, no endless stuff.
Yeah, I feel like though, this was like, I'm not gonna call it a rigged run here, but very good like run, obviously.
Yeah.
We kind of got everything we needed.
All right, do this for me. Put the justice on turn the gold king into glass. And what I want you to do for the boss is, instead of playing the high card, instead of doing the Baron, let's play the 5 of a kind and see like where the 5 of a kind would be. Right? Like obviously we got blessed with the Baron. If we didn't have the Baron, like what would it look like?
What we do? Yeah, for sure. I think if there's anything better than this, we don't care about this. I'll do one more. Okay.
All right.
So we're going for a 5 of a kind here.
5 of a kind kings. Yeah, and play the glass ones this time.
Is blueprint, does it even matter? I guess it goes on hanging Chad then, right?
We'll see when we get there. Once we draw the hand, we'll get more information about like what we want to play.
And you're saying to me that, okay, because this is one hand. Do I want to play a hand here? I guess I could discard this first actually and do this. Because we're going for 5 of a kind anyways, so it seems fine. Okay. I think I made the same misplay as last time where I could have played a hand if I don't get the red seal king.
It's okay.
Oh my god. We do better than this? We can. Do we want to rip it? I guess we don't need this. We don't need this. Okay. I think I'm only discarding this, right? And just hoping.
Yeah, you got all the steel cards. Oh. All right. So let's do this. Sell the Baron. This is the end. This is the end. Sell the Baron. Yeah. So like without the Baron, with just the Chad and the photograph, get the biggest score that you can.
Okay, so gone? Okay, it just feels weird, man. He's been with me for so long. All right, so
he's been a bro. He's helped us out.
We're playing you. Wait, hold on. You. I think it's this. Maybe this. We want this one to go first because it's the glass red seal. The rest of these don't really matter. Okay, let me do the math here. Hold on. So we know this is ×8 if the blueprint's there. This one would be triggered. The first card is triggered 4 times. It's 5 times, not including its original trigger. And then it's also red sealed. So each time it's triggered, it triggers an additional time. So each time it's triggered off Chad without even the blueprint, it is 6 times. With Chad, it's 12. That sounds better than playing on the photograph.
I'll give you a shortcut. Like rather than like try to calculate exactly how many triggers, we just balance the different types of things. So what I mean by that is, okay, we've got the card plus the red seal. That's 2 activations. And then the Chad is a re-triggering effect on top of that. So that's kind of like 3 re-triggering effects. Chad counts as 2, but I'm counting it as just 1.
Okay.
Here we've got glass and we've got photograph. So those are the times twos. I have 2 scoring effects, 3 triggering effects, and then 2 scoring effects. And then so to fill in the gap, you use the blueprint on the scoring effect. That way it's 3 and 3 is best.
Oh, so it's like the bear and mime thing again.
It's exactly the same. Yeah.
So that you do want to like those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the extra red seals, if you play them, they don't really do anything. So like the red steel king, you could hold in hand.
So probably like your thing like this. Oh, that's worse than that. It's this, right?
Yeah.
So just so I'm clear, so this triggers more, but this gives us more points if I put the blueprint here.
So this is 4 triggers and 3 X2s. So that's 12. 4 times 3.
Okay. Yep.
If you do it the other way, it's going to be 6 triggers and 2 X2s. So it's 6 times 2 or 4 times 3. It's actually the same either way. But like as a shortcut, if you don't want to like actually work it out every time, just count, okay, how many scoring effects, how many retriggering effects.
And you want to even it out as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I count Chad as just a single effect rather than 2 triggers.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
So this is without the Baron, without the Mime.
$4 billion.
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay. God, that was actually the longest I've ever spent on the white snake before. Okay, I actually learned a lot. I'm gonna have to rewatch this VOD.
You know what's great about this is like
What's
I'll
that?
just say a thing and then you just know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's when you tease someone who knows the fundamentals, it's very nice because you don't have to explain all the smaller things.
No, this was really chill. This was a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. Because I might ask you again. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing for the record here is my end goal here is to beat Raffle. I don't care if he knows or not. My end goal here is going to be that. So I am going to practice over the weekend and continue playing. And I might ask you maybe at the end of next week to see if you're available to do this again. And see if there's any smaller things you could see that I could do better. Because that way, if I'm still making mistakes, we can just iron those out, and then I can take on Raffle as my final boss.
Yeah. So like the two main takeaways. Number one is what are the builds that I'm going for? Like what are the end game jokers? Forget about what I have now, but what am I going towards? And then that way, every tarot card that I use is building towards something in the future. And then the second takeaway is just sort of just maximizing as much money as you can get from each round and for as many rounds as possible.
Okay. So I think the most important thing I learned here is that economy is like over majority of stuff here. Even though I should have known that from the beginning, but like economy allows you to find anything you're looking for, where if you don't have economy, you're kind of just stuck with what you're getting.
Yeah, it's a roguelike. I think something that's like kind of unique about Balatro is you have access to re-rolling. So if you have crazy amounts of money, then you get to see crazy amounts of jokers. And then you can just pick out the best ones. And you can also re-roll for tarot cards. And then sort of like snowball the deck building that way.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I actually think you helped me out a lot today. Okay, this is good. Okay, I appreciate you a lot. Again, I won't ask you to do another one or anything because it's been 3 hours already.